As the new year unfolds, the Las Vegas Raiders find themselves at a crossroads when it comes to our new minority owner, Tom Brady. And that's just what is the future going to look like with Tom Brady with his overall involvement in both the broadcasting booth and with the Raiders front office. And this topic has been drawing some attention, and recently on the Dan Le Batard show, David Samson went on the show and talked about this whole situation. Take a listen.
Guess what? Tom Brady's running that team right now, and the NFL knows it, and Fox knows it, and something's got to give. So enjoy Tom in the booth because you're not going to see him there next year.
Whoa, what?
He will be in the Raiders front office. He will not return as an analyst for Fox. You cannot be this involved in the operation of a team and be the number one analyst. It is an absolute insult to analysts what he's doing, and it's an insult to team presidents what he's doing. You end up doing both of them in a mediocre way. Tom Brady will not be with Fox next season. He will be full-time in the Raiders front office running that team, period.
So, as he stated, he has highlighted the fact that this whole situation could bring a potential conflict of interest in Tom Brady's dual role as a commentator and essentially running the Raiders front office. And he has predicted that he thinks Tom Brady will step away from the Fox Sports commentator booth to focus solely on running football operations for the Raiders. And when it comes to this whole topic, it definitely does seem like a conflict of interest. And I am sort of surprised that the NFL hasn't really spoken about this because it is a very strange situation. Tom Brady, a former Super Bowl champion, now transitioning into a strategic role off the field. His ownership stake in the Raiders combined with his position as Fox lead NFL analyst sets a precedent that has sparked debate on whether or not this should be allowed or not. David Samson argued that his dual role is not only just a logistical nightmare, but it is also an insult to other professionals in both the broadcasting and in the NFL front office. NFL analysts are expected to provide unbiased commentary, where owners are going to be inherently biased towards their team. Also, too, with Brady being an owner now, he's not going to be able to really criticize NFL referees, which as a commentator, I think you should be able to do that if you see something wrong, if you see the refs making bad calls. But with Brady being an owner now, that puts him in a tough situation. And it's just a weird situation overall. And it's really going to be interesting to see how this impacts the Raiders, because I think it could either impact us in a negative way, or if what Samson says, and ultimately if Tom Brady were to leave the NFL commentary booth, then that could definitely help us. I would much rather prefer a situation where Tom Brady is the full-time de facto GM, president of football operations, whatever. I'd much rather have Tom Brady be that full-time. That way he can devote all his time and energy. To trying to turn around this franchise for the Raiders. And if he has to juggle both things, like Samson said, I think he makes a good point. It becomes difficult for you to do both things at a high level. And the only thing here is the fact that, it's been reported already that Tom Brady will be heavily involved in the Raiders front office, especially when it comes to trying to select a quarterback. So it's not a situation where Tom Brady is just like a business deal, him being an owner with the Raiders. That is not the case. This will be a hands-on operation for Tom Brady. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Ultimately, with Tom Brady being an owner now too, it restricts a lot of the things he can do as an NFL commentator. With Tom Brady being an owner, it puts him under a lot of serious restrictions that could really hold him back from truly leveling up as a broadcaster. Some of the things he won't be able to do is attend the broadcast production meetings, as the TV crews are going to receive information about NFL teams during those meetings. He can't criticize any other team besides the Raiders. Like I said, he can't criticize game officials, and he cannot communicate with members of other teams beyond social media contact, because NFL owners aren't supposed to be chatting with other teams' players. So you can just see how, with him being in both these roles, there's a lot of potential scandals the NFL could try to pin on us, with conflict of interest being at mind. So it's going to be a tough situation to navigate. So with Tom Brady being an owner and having all these restrictions, I do find it difficult for him to excel at his job in the Fox Sports media role. And another thing that makes this whole situation very interesting is Tom Brady and his overall contract with Fox Sports. Tom Brady signed a 10-year, $375 million contract with Fox Sports in 2022 to become the network's lead NFL game analyst after he retired from the game of football. So he's getting about $37.5 million per year. And the one interesting thing that I saw from this is there is no explicit buyout clause mentioned in his contract. There has been no information or public disclosure about anything about a potential buyout. And obviously with Tom Brady being an owner for the Raiders now, this is where it's drawn a lot of question marks. The conflict of interest is obviously there, and his potential future with Fox. And how is that going to look like from a contract standpoint? Will they have to negotiate a buyout type of situation? Because one thing too is Tom Brady, if he's not going to be great at this role, I don't think Fox Sports is going to be thrilled with having to pay him all this money just for him to half-ass this job. So something really interesting to take into consideration. If Tom Brady tries to do both things, it could potentially hurt the Raiders unless Tom Brady could set up a situation where he's not doing most of the heavy lifting. He gets people in there that he trusts that can do the majority of the work. But even then, with all the restrictions he's going to have as an NFL commentator, it's going to be tough for him to excel at that role. And ultimately, I feel like Tom Brady, he loves the game of football. And with him being a part of the front office, being a part of the day-to-day operations of a football team, that's the closest thing he's going to get to being a football player. But knowing Tom Brady, his competitiveness and his love for the game of football, I think he'd much rather continue to do the front office operations for the Raiders, and honestly I hope that is what happens. But when it comes to the future of Tom Brady as an owner, whether or not he's gonna be full-time, part-time, still a lot of unknowns, a lot of question marks, especially since we've never seen a situation like this ever happen throughout the entire lifespan of the NFL. This is a very unique situation, so it's going to be interesting to see how the NFL handles it and ultimately what happens with Tom Brady. But in other news, I think we got some good information this morning, and that is the fact that the New England Patriots have secured Mike Vrabel as their head coach. Mike Vrabel has agreed to a multi-year contract to become the new coach of the Patriots, and reportedly it looks like he got a 4-year contract. Now how much he got per year is not confirmed as of yet, but it looks like it is right around the range of $15 million. But this is good news for the Raiders because the Patriots seem like a team that could have been an option for a guy like Ben Johnson, but with them being out the mix, it seems like the Raiders, the Chicago Bears, the Jacksonville Jaguars were more than likely going to be the front runners for Ben Johnson to accept a role as a head coach in the NFL. So to me, this opens up the possibility of Ben Johnson becoming the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, but we'll just have to see what happens in these next coming weeks. But Raider Nation, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of Tom Brady and the future of him as the Raiders owner. Do you think he will quit the Fox broadcasting job and go full-time with the Raiders, or will he do both at the same time? Let me know in that comment section down below. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that's all for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.